Cheers and welcome my friends, I'm Drak and this is my point of view from the multiplayer game of Star Trek New Horizons. So let's start this up. This was a very interesting session. I had been, as you know, I'm allied with the Dominion and I have sort of a tentative alliance with the Shiliak and a non-aggression pact with the Nyberrite. And one thing that really pissed me off kind of at the end of last episode, the Beta Quadrant actually attacked the Alpha Quadrant, which was kind of annoying because I thought, come on, just pull together. I mean, I guess the Cardassians had been trying to kill the Klingon leader, but on the other hand, I mean, maybe the Alpha Quadrant deserved to be punished because they didn't fight against the Borg, but all the excessive infighting actually did nothing to really keep them strong. So Shiliak and I talked and we decided to eliminate the weaker parties from the equation by taking parts of the Alpha and Beta Quadrant and actually consolidate those territories under the rule of people that know how to use those resources instead of letting them go to waste. All with the eyes towards the bigger Borg threat. So that's what we were preparing. I knew that I had to upgrade my fleet. In the beginning you saw me actually pushing those ship design upgrades that I talked about at the end of last episode, which actually did some really nice things. I also got a lot of research done in this episode. I'm actually quite happy with how things progressed. So far, we should be very close towards getting battleships, actually, which is going to be real nice. And just considering that I'm a huge empire, it's actually, yeah, I'm rather happy that I got the research on par with most of the bigger empires, which is not quite as easy in this mod, since you can't just build science stations or science buildings on the planet willy-nilly. You have to have science on a tile to be able to build a science station. Otherwise, only special buildings like the academy and stuff really allow you to build to get science from tiles that do not already have that on them. But what I've been doing in this session is definitely trying to push way more towards science as much as possible, because I will only be able to stand a chance against the Borg if I'm at least of a somewhat equivalent tech level. Obviously the Borg can research way faster than I can, because every time they harvest a colony they get a bunch of research, but oh well. So we're getting ready over here. I still have to upgrade my fleet. At this point we're not looking too strong, but I have a bunch of minerals and I'm actually trying to build up to my naval cap, which is still at 900. So pushing towards that was definitely what I wanted. The problem is if you push your fleet cap, if you push your fleet towards the cap, you inevitably end up with some severe energy problems. So that's always the thing, balancing fleet power versus the energy that you have at your disposal. And that's going to continue in future episodes. That's just the way of the Stellaris mid to end game. Nothing I can change about that. And every ship that you build in Star Trek New Horizons is definitely feels like a proper drain on your finances. But the income is still fine. I'm getting 500 minerals per month, which helps a lot. I also have a very loyal ally in the Dominion who has been actually supporting me with energy whenever I needed it, which was very good, especially against that war in the south. Still preparing to upgrade that fleet, which actually took quite a while. Shiliak were getting antsy. So the idea was that we would start basically two separate wars. He would take stuff in the Alpha Quadrant, I would take stuff in the Beta Quadrant. And my idea is to basically consolidate that spiral arm where the Borg are in right now. I mean, those are fighting words. It's going to be very difficult to take down the Borg, even in a coalition of players, since they have a bunch of cubes by now. They actually went canon in this episode. They did park a Borg cube in Wolf 359, which I found hilarious. But yeah, the Beta Quadrant, I think, at this point is already at war with the with the Borg. So this is definitely a backstab maneuver. But on the other hand, I mean, these guys really had as much time as we had to build up and to get their economy on track and their fleet power. Now, I honor their efforts, but I thought the move to consolidate those territories, I kind of have mixed feelings. I mean, I would actually like to give the planets back if I could trust them to actually do something with them. I mean, I've heard good things about the Romulan player actually harassing the Borg quite a bit. I think Shaggo said that that the Romulans were the biggest threat to him, if I remember that correctly. So that's pretty good. Or at least that they did that they fought the most valiantly, which is kind of nice. Yes, I do feel bad about taking those planets in the south, but it had to be done. It had to be done because now we can actually open a second front there too, if we need to engage the Borg from all angles. Finally, my fleet is actually done upgrading. So at this point, we have reached about 60k in terms of fleet power. Now you always have to take those numbers with a pinch of salt because the fleet power calculation can be rather off. If you have a good design, it can still look underpowered, and building only huge ships like cruisers or battleships is not really the sole way to go, since you're concentrating a lot of your firepower in a single ship, which can definitely not help you in battles, at least in the Star Trek New Horizons mod. That is definitely a thing. We're getting a lot of follows in this episode. If you want to follow my point of view, then the easiest way to do that is just to follow me over at twitch.tv/Horath Drak, so that you get notified when I'm live. That will be later today. We're going to play the next session of this game. So now I'm moving the fleets south. I have two fleets now: Beware the Vaadwaur and Whip of Vaadwaur, which I'm trying to build up to equal strength, so that I have two fleets, one fleet for the south, one fleet for the north. At least that was the idea. Not really decided how we're going to do that. At least for this war, that was the idea. The problem is that a 12 or 13k fleet that stayed in the north really isn't all that capable of defending against the Borg. I mean, taking on one Borg cube, it might be that 37k fleet actually has a chance, since it's a lot of ships against one big ship. So maybe we'll see how it goes. Still have problems with slave uprisings and all that. Getting better guns though. Yeah, tech is actually moving forward quite well. Takes my fleet a while to go south. What I didn't realize is that the transport fleet actually hadn't been upgraded to the next warp drive, so they couldn't take the same route as the main fleet. So I had to send them back, re-upgrade them, then send them down. But it turned out that I didn't even need them. So we're now moving. We were going to do a coordinated declaration of war. At this point, Beta Quadrant and Alpha Quadrant had no idea what was coming to them. And here my Admiral gains the 10% less upkeep trait, which was good, but I'm still 93 energy credits down the hole. Now it's 105, 106. Nice. Yeah, that's definitely not a model that is sustainable. So building up those energy plants was a pretty big priority over there. You can see the Shiliak fleet is already hanging out in a system next to United Federation of Planet Space. My fleet is on their heels. Yeah, there I see the problem with the transport fleet, sending them back. Bit annoying, but what can you do? Could have just thought about that. So now we're at, now we're at 60k actually. 38 and 20. So these are my demands. I'm trying to take the 5 planets from the Romulans that are closest to my territory. And the idea is to basically take that part of the spiral arm to stake my claim on there, and then move northward, take the Borg territory as well over there. I will have to research some specific terraforming stuff to be able to transform their planets back to useful planet, so we'll see how that goes. I gotta be a little bit weary of taking too many Borg planets. But at least it's gonna give me territory, I think, and some fleet power. So I was just trying to reduce some spaceports to rubble in the hope that they would just give up, because I didn't have my fleet here, so that was the best chance, and a human player would actually do that. Yeah, and the other Romulan player has actually given up, has given me those planets so that they could concentrate on fighting the Borg. And as you can see, we're almost touching up with the Borg territory down there, so that's what I kind of need to do, connect the territory towards the Borg, because I don't think the Romulans will let me through at this point after what I did to them. So yeah, I've been playing around with the warp range upgrade. Didn't really do all that much though. So I'm not sure what kind of thing I'm going to put into that yellow slot. I'm currently using the shield regeneration booster, which they don't really do all that much. I mean, I've been going fairly heavily towards shields. I'm now specializing in, I guess, anti-photon beams. I'm going for the anti-armor version. Oh no, I went for proton cannons. Interesting. All right then. Yeah, I gotta resettle people onto those Romulan planets to at least have some people of my native population. I wasn't able to settle people on that icy planet. I guess I had to live with that. Running a slaver empire, it's hard. Listen to me complain. It's not as hard as it is for the slaves, but still. Okay, so now I got what I wanted. I had my fleet down there. The thing is that in a little bit of time, we're actually going to have a sort of event pop up down there in the Romulan territory. There it is, the Doomsday Machine, a very powerful Leviathan type thingy that is out there to destroy planets. So I had to send my fleet, the Vaadwaur, back there again to take it out. It's going to give us some nice rewards. I think 2,000 engineering research and a bunch of minerals and energy, but still. We're also now in the positive in terms of energy. That's pretty nice. I mean, Vaadwaur is still in orbit. But yeah, at least we can put one fleet out there without starving to death, which is pretty good. That's because I got that new territory, I think. That definitely made a difference. We're almost at our cap right now. We're already at 900 of 975, so building up further. We'll also have to take into account that I don't go the fleet cap too much, because that can also hurt. Alright. The thing is, we're going to have a declaration from the Borg very soon. Because apparently they must have been not happy with what we did. I think Shaggo could have won this game already. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that he's super strong. And he's just playing with us like a cat. With its food. I'm pretty sure he could just try to eradicate us. I mean, maybe some of my viewers told me that his economy maybe is a bit of a problem. We'll see how that goes. But if he, I mean, doesn't really have to even have his fleet at full fighting strength. Even if it takes them out, if he has negative energy credits, they're still going to have 25,000 firepower per cube. So you could just ignore that and just continue to build up cubes. Might be a thing. Might actually be a strategy that I would go for if I were the Borg. I mean, he has a fair amount of space. Like, he has one whole spiral arm for himself. He has about as much space as I do. I'm not sure if his space is as rich. I mean, gotta say, the Vaadwaur starting position is pretty good, especially once you've eaten your neighbors. I have a lot of mining station stuff around me. I should have tried to take the machine empires in the north sooner, because they actually have pretty big planets and a lot of population, so that would have been good. I didn't really do that. I'm not sure. I got the better shields, though, at this point, which is really good. We need as much staying power in our fight against the Borg as we can get. Because if we get into a fight, yeah, and there's the declaration of war. So he wants one planet from the Shiliacs, and he wants one planet of mine. Kravika is, I think, what he wants from me, which is a 25 tile planet. That definitely hurts. But apparently he couldn't really ask for more than 2 planets. There's the Borg cube. I talked with the Shaggo player, and we decided it would be best to just give him those planets that he wanted. Instead of allowing him to run around and assimilate more and more of our planets, we're just going for the truce, which gives him those 2 planets. But for an empire that, like mine and the Shiliacs, has 50 planets, 2 planets are neither here nor there. So it's not all that bad. You can see that it didn't affect our income all that much. We dropped to negative energy credits again, slightly, because I've been building up Kravica into a energy hub. But oh well, what can you do? Building the Vaadwaurian fleet up, we're now almost at 70k. Which is pretty good. Still not at the cap, but we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. I really can't wait to get the battleships. That would be pretty good. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so now I'm splitting the fleet again. I know that I have to go after the Romulans at some point again to finish my territory grab down there. Yeah, we're over the 70k at this point. I'm still building up a couple of cruisers. I'm basically trying to keep the configuration of both fleets the same. So 20 patrol frigates, 10 destroyers, and then I think 12 cruisers and 8 battle cruisers or something like that. But no, I think 15 cruisers, 5 battle cruisers. We'll have to see what we do once we get the battleships. But yeah, there is a restriction. You can't put more than 50 ships into one fleet, which is a restriction that is in Structured New Horizons. In the base game, it's 500 ships per fleet. But yeah, it's still something that you have to consider. So a huge patrol frigate fleet isn't really all that viable. Okay, so now both fleets are in orbit, which boosts our income quite a bit. That's good. Gotta stockpile enough energy for the next war. I'm at the max now. I might actually maybe just run with the fleets out of orbit, so that I see where I'm standing with both fleets out. Gives the build-up effort the sense of urgency that you need. On the other hand, you're draining your stockpile then, and if I get attacked again, that's not going to be fun. Yeah, we're going to have a truce until I think about 65 with the Borg, and we got a bit of pause. I think we got a disconnect, and because the mood in the Alpha Beta Quadrant was rather low, so they didn't wanna continue the game again. It's gonna be interesting to see how many of them actually continue playing in today's session. I know that the Romulan player needs a substitution because he has something else coming up. I'm gonna see who else excuses themselves. Well, yeah, I think our course is clear. We really have to do something about the Borg threat, but until we're ready, actually seeding some planets remains definitely a possibility. Like the question is, would I seed an important planet like Vaadwaur Prime? Maybe. Well, that depends on the situation I'm in. But at this point, I stopped the game when it was kicked out at 80k. So that I mean, I'm gonna assume that the Borg player has. I mean, I've heard somewhere that he has 4 cubes, maybe 3 to 4 cubes. I'm assuming definitely seen 1 north, 1 south. So let's just say he has 3 cubes, which brings him up to 150,000. And then I've seen support fleets of 50,000, I think, north and south. So that makes him end up at about 250,000 fleet power, maybe even 300 if he has another cube. Like, that is sizable. That is sizable. But on the other hand, it's concentrated in a very few ships. Now, the question is, do we really go for one big decisive battle? I mean, if I can pull in the Dominion, which at this point I think has 50k, the Shiliak, I think those guys have about 50k. So that brings us to 180. If we can pull in the Nyberrites as well, which also has 50k, we are actually at a point where we might be able to challenge the Borg, if that is a thing. I don't think we can count on the Alpha or Beta Quadrant. I mean, they've been playing some defense, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough. The amount of fleet strength that they can bring is just enough for guerrilla warfare, I think. Well, yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how the game continues this evening. So if you want to join me, follow me on Twitch, and I hope I see you there. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, and bye bye.